It is hump day, humpity hump day, humpity hump day. How many of y'all are back at work? Are y'all back at work or are you still working from home? Either way, it's hump day, right? It's Wednesday. I hope everybody had a great day. You know, it's Methotrexate Wednesday for me, so uh I've been kind of blah today, but that's all right. Hey Summer, how you doing? But I am grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful for today. Um we already had dinner around here. We had a broccoli and rice, like and chicken. I put some chicken in there and a little bit of cheese, right? Baked it in the oven. It was good. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? I won't make it again, but it was all right. But that chicken, hey Shay, but that chicken was real good. I don't know what I did, but I'm gonna do that again with that chicken. That chicken was really good. I just took some like tenderloins. I've done it 100 times, so I don't know why it was so good, but I took some tenderloins and I just cut them up. And Jonathan cut them up for me into little cubes. And then I just put them in a pan, in a saute pan, and season them. I throw some seasoning in there, child. There's a little bit of everything in there, you know, and just fried them off. That's all I did. I didn't put no flour on them, no breading, no nothing. They didn't soak, nothing like that. Just cook them off like that. So you know they're a lot healthier that way because there's no breading or nothing on them. But even when I mixed it with the rice and the broccoli, the chicken was like phenomenal. The chicken was really good. So I'm probably gonna try to do that again. I'll probably never get the seasoning right again. I don't even remember what else seasonings I grabbed out of the cabinet. I just have a shelf with seasonings in it, and I just kind of look and grab depending on what I'm doing, what I want. So, and just sprinkle it in the pan. So, I probably can't mimic it again, but it was really good. The chicken was really good. But yeah, so it was all right. And then Jonathan, you know, he don't eat broccoli, so him and Christopher had chicken and rice and corn, and not cooked in the oven separately, you know. But yep, that's what we ate for dinner. And so that's it. But let's see what else is going on around here. Nothing much, y'all. We just up here, you know, sitting up here now. Y'all know that Julian was tested for COVID. Today makes day business day 14 since he was tested, right? Giving them a day to get it shipped out. So it's actually been 15 days. And we haven't gotten any results. That's not counting weekends, guys. That's just business days. And he still hasn't gotten results. Obvious. Either the results are going to be negative or he was very asymptomatic, right? And none of us have had any symptoms either. So I think we're fine. But it's kind of crazy. But he has to get tested. Every time he's exposed, he has to be tested for his job. So even though that there was no direct exposure for us, really, honestly, because it was a possibility he had to be tested. So yeah, but they still waiting on the results. You know what you gonna do? There's some crazy stuff be going on sometimes. But you know, I don't understand. It's crazy, y'all. There's just not enough data and not enough test availability. There's not enough, and not just doing the test, there's not enough answers. There's not enough answers for the test, whether you're positive or negative. There's just not enough of that coming back fast enough, I don't think. I really think that is something that needs to be focused on, is how quickly they can get the results, you know, to for the COVID test. Because the fact that some people can have it done immediately, right, within like 10 or 15 minutes, we need to mass produce that and have that readily available everywhere. Like that is the standard test. We have to figure out a way to make that happen. I think that is critical right now if they want to return things, opening schools and all of that. But then think about that. Even if they did that, could you imagine having to test every child every day for school? People. Because there's no way to do what, how are you going to do an NBA bubble, right? With a whole county? It's impossible. So what are they going to do? It's just kind of crazy. We'll see. But I really think that would help and make things better if the test turnaround, the results came back quicker. I mean, a 24 to 48 hour result this day and time, which some of these results are on average are taking anywhere from 7 to 10 business days, right? Not counting weekends. So in that amount of time, especially if you're asymptomatic, how much spreading occurred with or without a mask? I mean, even with a mask on, with the things that you see, the way the masks are being worn, the way they just different things, that they are of no use, right? They really are not helping at all because of one reason or another. How many people really were exposed over that amount of time while you were waiting on results and you didn't even know? Or what if you're asymptomatic and you do stay home, but you still have to do certain things because you're not sick, right? So people, I don't know how it's just, I just don't know how they stop it from spreading. It's just kind of crazy. So anyway, T-ball is officially over, guys. We got a little email saying it was done. So that's it. We'll see what happens in the fall. If things stay like they are or get worse, they may not play in the fall, which I understand, with the kids, but because they're supposed to start sign-ups normally in August. So that's right after, but school's starting all this kickback about school. I just don't know that it's going to take off for T-ball. But we'll see what happens. We're going to homeschool Zane. We're going to do FLVS. That's the decision we've made for our family, at least for the next year. So, Zane's repeating kindergarten. So we are going to, we're focused on therapy and different things like that. As far as PT and OT and speech and language. So with us homeschooling him for 1 year, it'll give us a year to really focus on those things as well. Plus we're, today is PTSD Wednesday, and we are also going to be working a lot, focused a lot more on Julian and what he needs to continue to get well. to continue to increase his quality of life. So if you look on my Instagram, Arts and Weights, I shared, but that's him. And he is picking up, some days he's getting a word, and then he's drawing a picture based off the word, right? So like today it was a lawnmower. So he drew, it was a donkey, and he drew it 2 different ways in 2 different styles. That's what he said. So, if you want to check that out and then follow him, it's Arts and Weights, and follow him because he's going to be posting some stuff up there more. I think that's something he's going to focus on for himself. So that'll be fun and exciting. I really like that he does that type of stuff. I enjoy it. He's always drawn for me. Even when we first met way back in August of 95, he always has drawn for me different things. So I'm glad he's getting back to that because he truly has a love for it. So, that's one of the things I want to talk about tonight from a spouse perspective of combat PTSD. I know y'all saw Julian on last week with me. If you didn't, go and catch it. You can watch it on my YouTube channel. But he came on, and Julian does not do that. That is not something he is even comfortable with. I'm sure you guys could tell. But he did it because he loves me, right? And that's just, he wanted to do it. So that is why he did it. But along the way, that it hasn't always been that way. And there's been times when I'm sure that he has also felt, the same way. But I sometimes feel like it's kind of overwhelming trying to make sure that he's okay. So, and I'm sure he has felt the same way, especially when I've been sick, especially when I first got sick. So, but what I had to learn was to compromise. I have to remember that in some ways he needs more than someone else would need, a different myself or Jonathan, or he just needs, in some ways Julian needs different things. Like anybody that knows me knows that I'm just loud and go most of the time. And then I have my down times, but very few people see that side of me. Julian needs that quiet time, that absolute quiet, like no noise, no disturbance, even if it's only for 30 minutes. And that's a very small amount of time, right? He would like to get at least an hour, but he has to have that. Like, I had to come to understand that he has to have that. Just like he had to come to understand that he had to be able to express that without getting angry or without turning to other things to make him feel better. He had to learn to say, wait a minute, April, I love you, but this is what I need. So, it's because we have compromised and we have grown together and we have continuously, even through arguing sometimes, we have continuously communicated about things. So, I say that to say that as the spouse, sometimes you will feel like it's not enough, or it's not right, or it's not working, or just giving up, or just exhausted, especially in if they are self-medicating any kind of way, whether it's drinking, whether it's whatever it is that they're doing, that they are making themselves feel better through. Make sure that they are talking to you, and that you're not just saying, "Oh, that's okay." No, you don't have to do that either. You have to let them know that's not okay, or I'm not. I mean, I gave Julian an ultimatum. I mean, it was I could not do it his way completely anymore. It was overwhelming. So he had to make some changes. He had to take some steps and do some things, because it could not continue the way it was for any of us, because he was miserable. And because he was so miserable, that put another layer of stress on our marriage and on us. So, but giving up, I don't care how much we screamed and yelled, or how often we said, I can't really stand you right now, because those things have been said. We never walked away, right? We never gave up. Those weren't options. So, as we went through those things, as hard as they seemed, as hard as they were, we had to communicate through those things in order for us to get where we are now. In order for Julian to get to a place where he could say, hey, look, I need an hour. Like yesterday, I had to go to Gainesville, right? And to go to the dispensary. Well, Jonathan drove me. Well, Larice and Zane and Jonah all rode with us, right? So we all just rode to Gainesville and back. But all of that time we were gone and coming back, Julian, it was quiet, right? Julian was quiet. So sometimes just little stuff like that. Is that going to happen every day? No, we're not going to leave the house every day. It's just not going to happen. But I'm sure he appreciated that time. And at the time, it wasn't even thought about that like that. Like, Larice just wanted to ride, and then Zane wanted to ride with Larice and Jonas. So that's how we all ended up going. It wasn't even a plan, but it still worked out, right? So sometimes you have to go with the flow too. But that takes compromise, because everyone has to be okay with that. Anyone that knows me knows that I have always been a planner. I do not like anything left to chance. Like, I like to plan out everything. I mean, I will start planning stuff 6 to 8 months before it starts. And I'm not talking about weddings. I'm talking about vacations and different things. Last minute stuff, I was terrified of. And that's the truth. I was terrified of last minute stuff. But you know what? I am learning, because Julian is the opposite. He don't want to plan anything. He wants everything just to go with the flow, like a nice river, constantly moving but not stopping, right? I'm not that kind of person. No. So, yeah, but I have learned that that's okay, right? And I have learned that if it's not planned, it doesn't make it any less important or any less of a memory. Or even if things go wrong when things are planned too. So it's just things that we have learned. It's an ebb and flow that we learn and we have that, but you have to be open and willing to that. You have to be, as the spouse, you have to be willing to, especially in the beginning, to take a lot of I'm sorry, to say I'm sorry, or to just let stuff go. And I'm horrible at that. So listen, if you're that spouse who is like, man, that's the problem. If sometimes I could just let it go, then it would never, I think sometimes things would be a lot more peaceful. I've been there. And that's probably right, but for me and Julian, a lot of it was Julian did not want to face and let me in. And I refused. I put my foot in the door and refused for him to slam the door in my face. And maybe some of that is because I knew Julian when we were 18 and 19 years old. So I knew Julian pre-combat. But at the same time, I did have an idea of what was underneath the anger and the way he chose to deal with things at the time. I knew there was much more to him, but I could not ignore some of the behaviors, like some of the stuff, like Julian drank a lot. And that just was not okay. There were a lot of things that we went through, that our children went through, because Julian wanted to deal with his stuff quietly, alone. But I would not allow him to do that. I'd be kicking in the door, like, no, and then, and finally, we just had to have a meeting, and me and him had, and it was a matter of, okay, this cannot keep going this way, because this is what the results are going to be. This is what is going to happen. However, neither one of us going nowhere. So we have to figure this out. What do you need? What do you want? Me having experienced PTSD prior, trauma, sexual trauma as a child. I had an idea. I knew that we could not just ignore it, right? I knew that we could not do that. I knew that those were not options. I knew walking away from him and saying it's over, those just things were made up in my mind, not options. And he had the same mindset, So what that meant was we had to figure this out. And that meant bumping heads. That meant us arguing and disagreeing and yelling. It meant all of that. But listen, every night we went to bed together. It's gonna be okay. It's not over. It's not just because you're fighting and arguing, it doesn't mean that it's over or that that's the end. Sometimes the fighting and argument allows you to find compromise. But in the fighting and arguing, listen, You have to listen so that you can process it later. Because some of us just are, I'm hot-headed, y'all. I just am. It just is what it is. It's not right. I'm better than I used to be. I'm a work in progress. However, I'm very hot-headed. Like, I can go from zero to no understanding in 2 seconds flat, if not faster. So Julian is not like that. Anyone that knows Julian knows he is it takes a lot to get him to that place. But we both have kind of changed a little bit. There are times now where Julian can tip the scale a little the other way, and I'm a little more passive. So see, that's something that we have learned from each other over time and through all of our challenges that we have faced with PTSD. So yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about today, because y'all know the basketball's back, right? Basketball is back. Yes, I said the basketball, but it's back. They scrimmaging, and I think the Nets and Brooklyn and shoot, who they playing? Oh yeah, New Orleans. Child, y'all, how I forgot that. Anyway, they hey Jonathan, y'all, let me tell y'all, 3 of my children on here supporting me. But yeah, the game is on, so I'm gonna go watch this scrimmage. We are very excited around this house about the NBA coming back. We just want to watch something on TV. And I want people to have something to talk about. Skip and Shannon, they need something to talk about. I'm tired of talking about football. I said it. It's too early for that. But I don't know what they're going to do about football, y'all. We're going to see, right? But y'all have a good night. Share this. Let everybody else see what's going on. Anyone you know dealing with PTSD, you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you just want someone to talk to, I'm here. Reach out, hit me in the inbox, and take care.